Before I begin today's recording, I'd like to apologize because of the noise in the background. And that's because we're doing the hospital rounds with the kids, and so I'm stuck with the baby in the car while mommy and my older son get themselves sorted out. So I figured I'd just make the recording now rather than waiting till I get home and then, some other distraction pops up and then I've missed the day. So yeah, that's it. So if you hear any noise in the background, it's my baby with the app, and so that's it, pretty much. So for those of you who don't have kids, some of the fun stuff to look forward to. Don't worry, it's an absolute blast having kids, that is. Okay, so on to the topic for today. Long-time listeners, you remember that I've been spending a lot of time with the fellows at the Box Office Hub. That's also another tech hub / incubator type space in Abuja where they offer entrepreneurial support. I've been talking to their founder about stuff that we can do there that is sales related, because they have lots of programs that are largely built around inspiring people in the entrepreneurial community. But you long-time listeners, I'm sure by now you've already caught the drift that my thing is that, inspiration, motivation, what else, branding, all the online pizzazz, all that is fine. But if at the end of the day we don't know much about sales, which is when the rubber hits the road, when you're there in front of a potential customer and you're trying to close the deal, if you don't know much about that, then you're not going to be able to move the needle forward in your business, regardless of what the industry is, whether it's the wedding event space, or whether you're in the tech space, or whether you're in the engineering space, or maybe even medicine. So I think it's absolutely essential. So that's the reason why I've been hanging out with all these tech people of recent, because this gospel of improving personal sales is something that everybody needs to hear, not just those of us in the wedding and the event space. I guess for us, it kind of comes intuitively. I mean, people are not going to argue with that proposition that you have to learn how to sell, because the wedding industry space is a very personal space, and I guess it's just obvious that if you're going to be a wedding photographer or a wedding planner or a decor person, then that's how you're going to set yourself apart when it comes to all these one-on-one interactions. Okay, so at yesterday's session at the box office, they had a speaker there, another wedding photographer, talking about knowledge management. I missed that part of the presentation, but at the Q&A, somebody asked a question about being a multi-hyphenated individual, being multi-talented, and what to do with that. And I figured that that's a good question to explore on this podcast, because we have people who have that sort of dilemma, if you can indeed call it a dilemma, because you have someone who takes good pictures, and the person is also good with video, and the person is also good with decor, and maybe the person is also good with children, because he or she is good at hosting kiddies parties. And then the dilemma becomes, what am I supposed to do? How do I go about getting into this industry, since I am talented at this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things? What do we do? Now, whether there is such a thing as multi-talented or multi-hyphenated, I mean, that's another discussion altogether. But I'm going to work on the assumption that these people do exist, and you have people that are just absolute whiz kids when it comes to multiple talents. So yes, in a sense, these people do exist. Like if you look at the sporting world, Michael Jordan was one of these people. He was good at basketball, he was good at baseball. Some people say he was a better baseballer than basketballer, and I think he did track or something like that. And then Usain Bolt, track, currently he's a footballer. So yes, there are people that have multiple talents like that. Now, the thing is not to let yourself get fooled into paralysis where you're not taking any decision because you're good at multiple things. So in my own opinion, I think what you should do is have a central thesis and then just roll with whatever stands the best chance of giving you those goals. So for instance, Usain Bolt, if the goal is to win a world medal or to be a world-class accomplished athlete, then for him the key was to pick the sport that would offer the best chances of achieving that. And so they went with track and field, and obviously it paid off. He has smashed the world records, and he has got the medals and all of that. And also the same thing with Michael Jordan. So yes, he wanted to do the baseball thing, but it looks like basketball clicked, and that's where he got the market validation, and then they moved on from there. So it's the same thing. If you're good at planning and you're good at decor and you're good at baking, then just what is the goal? What is the central thing that you're trying to hit? If it's about creative fulfillment, then yeah, pick the one that you feel gives you the most creative fulfillment and then run with it. But if it's about bringing home the bacon and bringing the most amount of money for you, then you take them one at a time and then you see, you run it out. See where you can get market validation and see where you get the most optimum return money-wise. So the bottom line is, whatever direction you seek, don't just stay there and be paralyzed because, oh, I'm so talented, I don't know what to do, I could do any of these 5 different things. If you're going to get involved in the wedding and the event space, it's very simple. What's the central thesis? Are you looking at being creatively fulfilled? Take them off one at a time and then run with it. Start with the decor business today. Give yourself 3 months. See how you feel about that. After that, try the planning thing. Give yourself another 3 months. Give yourself a period of time. It doesn't have to be 3 months. And then see how you feel about that. If it's about money, then that's even a whole lot easier to validate. Start with that. See where you can gain traction in the market. And those are the things that will help you make up your mind at the end of the day. And if you're as lucky as someone who is Usain Bolt, then you might be able to have multiple careers at the end of the day. So he's done with being a champion athlete when it comes to track and field, and right now he's currently exploring a career in football. So if you're that lucky, you're going to be able to do different stuff. Or if you run with it like what's his name, Richard Branson, because he pretty much just runs with multiple interests, sets up sustainable systems, and then puts someone to be in charge of that, and then he's off to the next idea. So there are multiple routes that you can go about this, but you don't have to be there paralyzed by this fear that, oh, I'm really good at 5 or 6 different stuff, I don't know what to do, and then because of that, you don't do anything. So inaction is going to be your killer. So pick the central thesis, validate it. Bottom line is, pick something, start, roll with it, and see how that goes. So, yeah, that's pretty much. In case there are any other people who are sitting outside the industry and who wonder how to get in, like the lady who happened to ask the question of, what's his name, Sheung, that's Cognito Studios. Yeah, so the lady who asked Sheung of Cognito Studios that question. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening to the Sales for the Nigerian Wedding Industry podcast. I'm your host, Abuja-based sales consultant and event media professional, Tavishima Ayede. Thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording.